got it, baby.
Now into the huddle with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz.
It is a joyous day. I love your show.
From the Emerald Coast to the edge of the atmosphere.
You gentlemen lift us up every day.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
What it do, people? It's the homie Lil Cash. Right now you tuned in with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. The hottest sports show in the South. Let's go. It's Lil Cash with another hit with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. Where they talk trash and they talk ish. When it comes to sports, man, they too legit. It's 104.3 ESPN. If you love sports, better chime in. NFL, college, local sports, they got it. NBA, they got it. Sports Blitz, the topic. The show hottest wasabi. Better tune in and go watch it. Hey, Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. If you even tried, you can't stop it. Bone Crusher gon' pop it. No Jeff gon' pop it. Go like, comment, subscribe, and share right now.
It's Friday, and you're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. We're so glad that you've joined us on this beautiful day here in Panama City, Florida, and we are excited about it. Don't forget the Braves tonight kick off the new series with the Baltimore Orioles in Camden Yards. 6 o'clock is the coverage time. 6:15 is the first pitch. Don't forget, if you want to be a part of this show, you can be. All you got to do is call the Tropical Spas and Pools phone line, 850-215-6290. I'm so excited about today's show. It's going to be action-packed. We've got a local celebrity coming in at 4:20 today. Javion Elliott, formerly of the Rutherford Rams, Florida State Seminoles, and the Carolina Panthers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's going to be joining us today. Going to be talking some football, going to be talking about his life and what's going on with it. And also, at the top of the hour, we're going to be having with us today from the SEC sidelines, Rob Brown. He's going to be joining us talking about what's going on with all of the SEC. As you know, we are just finishing up the SEC Media Day, so that should be really fun and pretty exciting just to hear another voice and telling us what he thinks about all the stuff going on with all the coaches. As always, on a Friday, we got the Crusher of Bones without his Waffle House shirt on.
Hey.
You doing all right?
I'm doing great. Friday weekend is incoming.
Well, we were doing a little deal yesterday where we could do 60 likes. And we were just short. We didn't hit it.
We came up short on
we didn't hit it. So
I'm not getting the free Waffle House.
But I'll tell you this. You know what? We're going to figure it out. So,
maybe you'll take me to the
we're going to
gas
figure it
station
out.
for some eats.
No.
The hot dog roller island. Can I do that?
No, we're not doing the roller tornadoes. Isn't that what they're called? Something like that?
The roller dogs.
But we're going to figure it out. We'll figure it out. I'm just telling you, we're going to get it taken care of. But, I'm just excited. Jeffrey, he's not here today. Called off yesterday and going to be headed over to Pensacola probably to look at some libraries, I'm sure. I'm sure he's checking out the Encyclopedia Britannicas. I think he's going to be doing some sightseeing. You know how Jeffrey does it. They're going to be looking at geography, landmarks, and all that kind of stuff. Downtown Pensacola, I guess. And then, he's going to be doing some stuff this weekend over in my neck of the woods in Alabama. So we'll see. I'm sure he'll be sending pictures and telling us where he's at, and we'll definitely be able to make fun of him on Monday about it because I'm sure he's going to have some kind of geographical deal set up. Well, there's a lot of stuff going on. We're going to go straight out the gate and talk about all the breaking news. And the breaking news of the day, obviously, is not LeBron James right now. It's Tony Romo. Last night, Tony Romo has been pulled over at night and unfortunately in Milwaukee, and looks like he went to jail for OWI. So, not a good look for Tony. He was in one of the golf tournaments the other day, and so played pretty good. He's a scratch golfer, Tony Romo is. So yeah. He's good. He's good at golf, and I enjoy Tony Romo when he's doing the games. He tells you stuff that's going to happen. He's telling you as a former player, kind of giving you the insight. I like him better than I do Tom Brady, and I do like him. I like him probably the best. I like that. So he kind of gives you the sometimes he even tells you what's going to happen. He's like, oh, they're pulling down their safety. They're going to take a shot up top right here next time. And sure enough, he does. And he tells what they're doing. So, unfortunately, are you a fan of Tony Romo? I mean,
he's all right. I'm not. I don't have any ill will towards Tony Romo, and apparently he's pretty good at drinking. Is that what he was doing?
Yeah, I
Was he
think so.
drinking?
Yeah, I believe so. I think he failed a field sobriety test, and so I think it's his first offense. Maybe, I'm not sure, but unfortunately, Tony, he obviously got bailed out. He's out, so I mean that's part of it. But the other news that is breaking for today, LeBron James has finally done it. He has finally picked his team. Too bad Jeffrey's not here to be able to talk about it, but he has agreed to go and play with the Philadelphia 76ers.
Wow.
So now you've got a big deal with LeBron. Curious enough, though, crazy enough as it sounds, signed a 2-year deal worth $8 million. So he's going to be making $4 million a year with the 76ers. Now, what's intriguing about that is Trinidad Chambliss at Ole Miss is going to be making $5 million in 2026. So actually, Trinidad Chambliss in college is going to be making more than LeBron James is making in the NBA for this year coming up. Mm-hmm. Wow. So just for him to be the GOAT, for him to be the greatest of all time, that was a crazy thing. This team, though, is stacked with star power. Now, again, it's up to being able to have chemistry. It's up to being able to play together. All of that, you can join all these teams. You can have all these teams together or these players together, but that doesn't always mean you're going to have a great team. So you got Tyrese Maxey, the former point guard from University of Kentucky. VJ Edgecombe, he's fantastic, brand new player, rookie last year, on the up and up, going to want the ball. Jaylen Brown from the Celtics just got traded to the 76ers. Obviously, he's going to be playing small forward, but he's a star. He was the MVP when the Celtics won the championship. So, I mean, you got Maxey, you got VJ, you got Jaylen. Now you're adding LeBron James as the power forward to that group. And then Joel Embiid, the former MVP of the league, is the center. Now, obviously, he's got to be healthy because, Joel Embiid is – usually when he plays, he'll play good for, 15 game, 20 game span, and then he's hurt for 10 or 15 days. And then he comes back, and he looks like he's still hurt, but he still plays, and he'll have a good game, but then he'll have a bad game. So he's very inconsistent on what I believe. And then, whether that all is going to work – their backups, you got Caleb Love, who come from North Carolina, Arizona. Anthony Simons, they just signed him the other day. So he's another shooting guard. LeBaron Philon from Alabama is going to be a rookie for that team this year as well. And then Dean Wade at power forward, then Ariel Hackporty, he's the center as well. So, I don't know. Are you a LeBron James fan?
I'm not a fan of LeBron James, but what do you think of this lineup, this team? How far, what kind of run can they make with this lineup? And did LeBron take a pay cut?
Yes, he took a pay cut to go there. And from what the reports are reading is that he said basically, I'm going to go to where I feel like I can have the best shot at winning a championship. So
just chasing that ring his whole career.
Yeah,
I don't know. Not a fan.
That does that kind of put it out there for you, like be the best where you are and let others come and build around you,
right?
Or go be a part of another team that's kind of already got the people and just add to it. Again, there's so many people that are Team LeBron over Team Jordan. You got people that still to this day says, "Oh, a one-on-one match with Jordan, LeBron wins every day," and yes, he's bigger, but I don't know if he could stop. I don't know. I don't know. For me, it's just like he's so much bigger than Michael Jordan was. He's 6'8", 260 pounds. Obviously, not right now he's playing his best basketball because how old he is. But the other side of that is, man, he was dominant for a long time. But people talk about, does he have that dog in him? Does he have that killer instinct? Does he have that kind of what Kobe had, what they call the Mamba? Does he have that killer, inside of him to just attack you? Or if you remember, there's been games on the line and LeBron passes the ball. He don't take the shot. So that's kind of, for me, your best player. If you're the best player of all time, I don't need you to be the best passer of all time. I need you to be the best person that's going to score the shot and take over. So that's just, so I don't know. To answer your question, I don't know. It's going to be, you got a lot of young talent here. Maxey is one of the up-and-coming stars. They made it to the playoffs. He did really well. Hasn't learned the game enough yet to win because they, early exit. Joel Embiid is a guy that requires the ball. He requires a touch. He feels like that's his team still. And even with LeBron coming, I'm wondering how that dynamic is going to work. Is Joel Embiid going to be like, it's my team, or is he going to let LeBron have it, or is it Tyrese Maxey's team, or is it Jaylen Brown's team? Jaylen Brown is coming there to be the star of the team. He shared the limelight with Jason Tatum at the Celtics, and the Celtics basically chose Jason Tatum over Jaylen Brown anyway. So now this guy comes to this team for the first time, and now he's going to have what some has called the greatest player of all time now coming behind him to come in and show everybody he's won a championship, Jaylen Brown's won a championship, but nobody else on that team has won a championship. So will the egos be able to work together, and will they be able to handle when it gets tough, when they need to eke out a win and it's not your night? Maybe you're not the hot hand, and they got to give it to one of these young fellas, and these young fellas are the ones that's going to lead the team and score. Because VJ Etchcomb is a legitimate good player. He's not great yet, but he's good. I would say Maxey is on the verge of being a top star in the league with a year or two to go. So I don't know. I mean, it really depends on the chemistry. Basketball is a chemistry thing. It is not always who's got the best talent. You can sometimes beat talent with good execution and being able to play, very good basketball. So for me, I really don't know. I'm wondering how it's all gonna shake out. LeBron James being in his 24th year, joining with Jaylen Brown, Joel Embiid, being able to handle all of this. A lot of people, even my friend of the show, Stephen Harris, who's a big-time Florida Gator fan, has come out and said that he is no longer a Los Angeles Lakers fan anymore. Now he's a Philadelphia 76er fan. And so now people are jumping ship off the Lakers side. And so now instead of being a Laker fan, they're now a Philadelphia 76er fan. So I don't know how it's going to set up. I don't know what's going to work. I don't know what's not going to work. But I am curious to see how it's going to work out with LeBron James at the Philadelphia 76ers. We're going to go ahead and go to the phone line. We got Gator Jamie on the line. Jamie, what is going on, and what do you think about this whole deal in Philadelphia?
Hey, boys, what's going on? I just heard the news. Y'all broke the news to me. I've been outside getting my butt kicked at work all day, so I hadn't heard about it until I turned the radio on.
Yeah, so LeBron's going to Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think it's I was listening to y'all talk about it. I think it's a pretty good mix. I mean, he's going to the East, which is easier to win, easier path back to the finals. You don't have to go through San Antonio or OKC. And, you got to remember, he played in the Olympics with some of these guys, too, with Jaylen Brown and Joel Embiid. So it's not like they're strangers. They know each other.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think it's going to be interesting to see how they are able to, go a whole season and be able to, because Joel Embiid, he very rarely makes it through the whole season without being hurt. So that's going to be a big deal for them as well.
Yeah, and I think honestly, they're probably counting on Joel Embiid to play 50 games You know what I mean? They know they can't be building a roster around him expecting 82 games. And LeBron's going to play his 60, 65 games. And I think LeBron was looking for a team that he can kind of take the back seat. If you think about it, he's been in that role a little bit since Luka's been at the Lakers. He's been sort of the second fiddle. And that's honestly, I think that's one of the things that makes LeBron the greatest is his ability and his willingness to make the right basketball play and to accept that there's other people on his team that can take the shot. You know, we all love Kobe and Mike because they were the killers and they were going to take the last shot, but they missed the last shot a lot.
Yeah.
You know, LeBron is always makes the right basketball play, and as somebody who coached basketball and plays basketball, I love that. I think it's fantastic. You know, instead of trying to be the triple team, you know, you pass to an open guy, and if you don't make the shot, you know, you get criticized for not making the shot or not having that dog in you or whatever how you want to put it. But, you know, the right play is the right play. It's a make or miss league. If you make it, you get credit for making the pass. If you miss it, then you know, you gotta face that.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he handles it because, you know, you're exactly right. He was the second fiddle. This team, they've got a lot of firepower, and who knows, man? Maybe they let the young guys kind of take it to them early and then allow the older guys to kind of rest a little bit and, like you said, not play as much, and then you know, save yourself for the playoffs.
And you saw LeBron in the first round of the playoffs when he didn't have anybody else. You saw him turn it on and become old LeBron. You know what I mean? He still got that in him. He just, like Toby Keith's song, I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once.
That's right. Yeah, very true. I mean, that's a very good point. It's going to be curious. It's going to be very interesting to watch and see whether or not these guys are going to be able to win. And, I mean, they definitely are going to have, every time they come on the court, they're going to have more talent than anybody else that they're playing.
Right. And I think all, you know, like I said, all those guys have discussions with each other. None of this was made without those guys talking to each other about, you know, will you be happy playing with me? Versus, you know, we could do this or we could do that. You know, none of these guys are strangers. They all know each other. Most of them have the same agent. You know, we're the only people that don't know what's going on. These guys all probably knew this was going on for a week, 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think Jaylen Brown had already kind of mentioned, hey, if you want to come on, I'm ready. Everybody kind of thought he was going to the Heat, though. That was the shocker. Even somebody from the Miami Heat had kind of leaked out a press conference for next Thursday, and then they rescinded it. And so now, come to find out, he wasn't going there.
I was really holding out hope that he would go to Denver. I just wanted to see him and Joker together as two of the best passers in the history of the league. I just think that offense would have been something to see. But you know, he made his choice, and I think, like I say, I think he was trying to get out of the West. Yeah,
you're probably right.
Much easier path in the East to at least make the finals, and New York shows you if you can just make the finals, then it's anybody's game.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you calling, and just don't be surprised if Joker shows up in L.A. with Luka next year.
I think he's going to stay a Denver Nugget. I think he'll finish as a Nugget.
Okay. Well, we will see, Jamie. Thanks for calling and listening, man. We appreciate you as always.
All right, y'all have a good day.
All right, buddy. You too. You know, and that's the biggest thing. Are they going to be able to play together? Will they be able to play together? These guys, so much talent, young talent, plus veterans, will they be able to play together? That's going to be the biggest thing. It's going to be a whole offseason of chatter of whether or not they're going to be, but they immediately put themselves in the top 1 or 2 in the Eastern Conference right out the gate. They're going to I'm curious to see what Vegas says their chances of to win the East, and then also what their chances are to win the NBA title.
So this isn't like Jordan going to the Wizard. This is
No, this is legitimately going for a title.
Right.
Yeah. Young talent, they playoff team, and then they added LeBron, but they added Jaylen Brown, who's a legitimate superstar in the league that can get you 25 to 28, even more a night. And yeah, they're definitely, the Knicks just immediately cringed because they're going to have to meet them there. So either way, we're going to go ahead and take our first break. When we come back, we're going to be having in studio a friend of the show, Javion Elliott, former FSU player and professional player. You've been listening to the Sports Blitz right here with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's the PCB Hobby Takeover with Todd. Mondays at 5:20 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
That is a very high-end card and very rare.
Todd talks about coins, trading cards, collectibles, and the amazing stories behind them.
It was the first one that's ever come through my door.
Plus, we'll be taking your calls and questions at 850-215-6290. The PCB Hobby Takeover.
A platform for you to do your hobby.
Mondays at 5:20 on the Sports Talk Monster, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Anna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Friday's weather forecast. Mostly sunny the remainder of the day with temps near 91 and a wind 10 to 15 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies tonight, a light breeze, and a temperature of 82. The same tomorrow around 91 with some sun throughout the day with a possibility of thunderstorms in the afternoon. Partly sunny Sunday and hot around 92. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Ready to play? Welcome to DuPlay, your premier indoor destination for family fitness and total fun. DuPlay is designed for fun, movement, and skill building for all ages. Kids can explore our active playgrounds, while athletes and teams can utilize our turf fields, indoor soccer, batting cages, full basketball, and volleyball courts. With open play, training space, and structured activities, it's all inclusive at the new DuPlay in Panama City. Take a look now at DuPlayOnline.com. That's DuPlayOnline.com.
Hewitt Tire and Auto has been in business in Panama City forever. Locals taking care of locals. From the smallest to the largest vehicles, they do it all. But don't take my word for it. Listen to the experts.
Hewitt Tire and Auto, your certified AAA service center and hometown towing.
Visit them online at HewittTire.com.
On Airport Road in Panama City.
850-769-7323. Hewitt Tire and Auto Center and hometown towing.
ESPN Northwest Florida advertisers get results. Here's MaxFit Sports Nutrition owner Jason Kovaleski.
So if you're looking to advertise, or if you have a small business and you're looking to drive traffic to your store, check out ESPN 104.3 with Coach James Hale Show. I've been working with them for 7 years. They've driven a lot of traffic to my business. I get people all the time in my store that say, hey, I've heard you on the radio. It's one thing to advertise on the radio where people may hear it. It's another thing to be able to come on, talk to your customers directly. It's just one of the best form of advertisements I did, and I've gotten great returns off of it. So if you're looking for some form of advertisement to drive traffic, check out Coach Hale Show on ESPN. Contact Coach Hale, and he'll hook you up and get you started in the right direction and get you a lot more business.
Get results for your business. Call ESPN Northwest Florida. 850-215-4468. 850-215-4468.
On this show, we don't hold back. We react, we dissect, and we tell it like it is. You're locked into the truth.
Listen!
You're locked into the Sports Blitz. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are back live and local right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. And we're so glad that you've joined us today on this beautiful Friday. We've made it to the weekend, baby. I am excited about our next guest. Don't forget, if you want to be a part of this show, you can be. All you got to do is call the Tropical Spas and Pool phone line. 850-215-6290 is the way you do that. Don't forget, too, the Braves are going to be playing right after the show tonight. 6 o'clock is the coverage time. 6:15 is the first pitch. Braves going to be taking on those dirty old Baltimore Orioles in Camden Yards. Start off the night with a victory is what I want. But either way, we'll talk about that later. We've got in-house friend of the show, Javion Elliott, former Florida State player, former NFL player, played with the Carolina Panthers and the Tampa Bay Bucks. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. I appreciate the opportunities for even to be on the show.
Yeah, well, thanks for coming in and being here on this Friday, man. Florida weather is something else. Ain't it? One day is winds blowing 50 miles an hour, knocking down Waffle House signs, and rain going sideways, and now it's hot as firecrackers outside. Well, good to have you, man. How's it been going? I know you're new dad, and how's the baby doing?
Baby's doing great. Wifey, she's doing great. Our son, he is 11 months now, so actually 10 months. He'll be 11 months next week. But man, he started walking at 9 months, so he's doing great. Energetic personality, and I'm loving every bit of it. Watching him grow, and yeah.
Well, don't lie. You got him doing techniques already, right?
Of course,
hand techniques.
Yeah.
You're telling him you got to learn to drop step. You got to know where to push. All that.
If you want to play with your toys, you got to do some squats. That's how you.
That's exactly right. So let's talk about the Florida State program right now. We've been through just about the summer. They're about to get kicked off here soon for practice, and you got Ashton Daniels moved over from Auburn to take over the quarterback position. You got Tom Herman coming on board. There's really not a big time job that he's taken. It's just more like, hey, I'm coming to be a part of the program and going to help a little bit here and help a little bit there. So that's good for the program. How do you feel like Florida State's chances are this year? They got a pretty tough schedule. They got Alabama again on the schedule. Obviously going to play Miami, going to play Florida. How do you feel about the Seminoles?
I think this year will be the year to see what their true identity is.
Yeah.
Last year, obviously, we started off great beating Alabama, but with our new coordinators and new position coaches, I know there were some changes there too.
Yeah.
But defensively, last year, I know they probably didn't get a chance to really recruit the guys that they really wanted. But going into their second year, hopefully, going through a full off season, that they're able to get some things going. And then offensively, we just got some new players in there, like you mentioned, new quarterback, and we just got to execute, man, because it's there's no secret of what's out there now.
Yeah.
So it's like it's either execute and win some games, or whatever the administration chooses to go with.
Yeah. Well, I think Tom Herman is the interim in waiting if they don't do it early. I mean, would you agree with that or not really?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure because I know he had success at Houston, right? And then went to Texas, and
job was too big. Yeah.
So like, I'm not sold on that. I can see. I think it's logical. I do see the thought process behind that, but I'm just not sure if that's the answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, stepping into this year, they changed some rules with the NCAA football. You get 5 years. No more redshirting. No more, any of that. You get 5 years from the time you start, your first class, or whenever you enroll, or whenever you're done with high school. However, whatever comes first. So, what do you think about that? You like that? Do you like that they're not? Because your story was a lot different. You didn't enroll until later, and so you came later. But what do you think about the new rule?
I think it's fair to be like, hey, you have 5 years.
Yeah.
Because we were getting 9-year players. They were finding ways. With COVID and injuries, and you got a guy that's been playing college football for 9 years or 10 years. Who knows? So it's just, I think it's good to say, hey, we'll give you 5 years. And I still think there should be limitations on the transfer portal. So, I think it's starting to move in the right direction.
Yeah. I think they're doing some things that's kind of getting us there. I got a couple more questions, and then we'll talk about some other stuff. But tell the truth. Are you a little bit envious? Or maybe envious isn't the word, or maybe all and out, because I am a little bit. I'm a little bitter. I'm older. I play college ball. But these guys are making lots of money. Do you wish they had had the portal and the NIL back when you played? Because I kind of do.
Well, I would have loved to play under the rules prior to the 5-year rule, because then I for those who don't know my story, I didn't play football for 3 years after high school. I was enrolled in college, but I didn't play. So I only had 2 years of eligibility left once I got on the team. Now, I would have benefited from being able to play for 9 years, but no, I don't. I think I'm not envious. I'm not even sure if I would have benefited from it much because of my story. But I am happy that they are getting compensated. I just want there to be pure intentions when it comes to the school selections and wise decisions. Instead of just chasing the money, I want you to be wise in your decision making and really make an impact on where you're at. Because if you're at a different school each year, it's like, are you really making an impact? Or are you just chasing the money?
Right.
So, I really want those guys to have a firm foundation and, get the money while you can.
Yeah. Is it crazy to you to hear that? Obviously, you've heard that LeBron James signing with Philadelphia. Do you realize that LeBron James is going to make $4 million a year? Trinidad Chambliss is going to make $5 million a year. So Trinidad Chambliss is going to be making more this year than LeBron James. Yeah. And I've just said it once, but I can't get past it. It's crazy.
It is, especially it's college athlete.
Yeah.
But at the same time, LeBron he's taking a team friendly deal and he's trying to chase a ring and hey, he's made a lot of money.
He has.
So
he's definitely there.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried. I'm not worried about LeBron. I'm just like, man, I can't believe that.
Can't believe it. Yeah, college quarterback. Yeah.
Unbelievable making that kind of money. So let's dive into it. What's your title at the Rec Center? I know that you're at the Martin Luther King Jr. Rec Center right here off 15th Street. What's your title there?
I'm the manager.
Okay, so you are the manager. That means you're the boss, right?
Yeah.
You are the boss. So give us what's going on there. Kind of give us a rundown what you guys are offering, and then tell us about what's coming up and what's going on with it.
Yeah, so we just opened in January, on January 16th, so it's been about 6 months now. And honestly, we offer programs and events for all ages, from youth all the way up to seniors. We have KPL, which is Kaleidoscope Play and Learn for ages 0 to 5. We offer those every Wednesday. And then we have teen programs and adult programs and senior programs, everything recreationally and educationally. So we offer arts and crafts, STEM camps, financial literacy. We're going to have a youth basketball league coming up. So we're not just like a youth center and we're not just an athletic center. So we offer programs to help develop the person holistically.
Okay, so and you said you're getting ready to have a basketball league. So what age groups is that going to be like?
Yeah, so our age group for the basketball league is ages 5 to 16, co-ed as well.
Yeah. So how do they sign up for that? When are you already got the signups for that, or is it coming?
Yeah, so registration is open now. Registration will end on August 15th. And you can sign up online at panamacity.gov under the MLK Junior Recreation Center tab, or you can come in person at our building, 705 East 14th Court, and you can get registered in person. We also offer scholarships for financial hardship. So, we want to have limited barriers of entry. So if you have whatever your situation may be, we have criteria that could help you get enrolled without any barrier. So
okay, yeah, that sounds good. So no older guys like me that used to could play that can still shoot it, but we ain't doing an older league, adult league right now.
Not yet. Next year we will be.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll be doing a summer. We'll be doing an adult basketball league.
All right,
Yeah.
So Bone Crusher's signing up.
Yeah,
he
do
might
it.
need the. Do you got sponsorships for the? And do you provide ice after the games for our knees and ankles?
That could be a program, a recovery
That's
program.
right.
Yeah,
We have to do the recovery
I can
program.
hear the hamstrings popping from here.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly. So when you're there, give us kind of a rundown of your day and because obviously this is your job, but man, you're giving back to the community though. Like you're seeing young kids and the teenagers coming through. Do those guys look at you and like obviously you're the boss of the place, but do they look at you like, man, That's Javion Elliott. He played in the pros.
Yeah, they do. It's just kind of like having that dynamic of like being the boss and having to set expectations and standards of how the behavior will be at the facility, but also building those relationships. So, you know, I manage it with grace. You know, I build that rapport with the kids, even if it comes down to me having to discipline them. Like, I still offer grace. I still build that relationship, and that's what it's about. It's about making an impact on them and being able to let them know that, hey, I don't lead with that. Like, hey, you know, as far as boasting that I played in the NFL, but I do inspire them. You know, especially once they find out, it's like, man, I want to be able to share any knowledge, any wisdom, and help them make better life decisions.
Yeah. So not only inside of the facility is there basketball courts and all the stuff, but isn't there a playground and is there outside courts as well?
Yep. So as far as the playground, we have like the huge slide that catches everybody's attention. We have an outdoor basketball court, about a 40-yard multi-purpose field, and then we also have, like, the building itself is 30,000 square feet. So the gym is 16,000 square feet. We have 2 high school regulation courts. We have a STEM lab with 3D printers and coding kits and different things. We offer programs for that as well. We have a recording studio for programs, teaching how to make music or how to do journalism. So maybe there's something that we could partner with on that, and also arts and craft, and a multi-purpose room that's available for the community for renting, whether it's for birthday parties or organization meetings or baby showers, like whatever it may be. There's room for that. And then we have study classrooms and a 600 square feet fitness center as well. So,
what's the address over there?
705 East 14th Court.
Okay, so it's right there. Let's see. I was trying to think of exactly where it is. I know, because, you know, a lot of people sometimes are like, oh, it's right across the street from, you know, a gas station or whatever.
It's at the intersection of 15th Street and MLK.
Okay. Yeah. So that's pretty easy.
Yeah.
So when you look at how the years of your playing went, and then now you see these guys that have been in the league, you know, we've been talking about LeBron. How hard is it, though, to stay in a professional league? Like, you know what I mean? Like, the last time you were here, I didn't get to ask you that question, and I just remembered it. That's why I'm going straight to it, because I don't want to lose it. How hard is it to stay professional, if that makes sense? Because you see it. It's like, you know, it's hard to, when you're coming into a league and you almost feel like you've arrived or you made it, and then you make the starting lineup, and, you know, like yourself, you get a couple of interceptions, but you're not guaranteed that spot that next year.
Yeah.
How does that feel? Walk us through that and tell us how it feels.
Well, I mean, there's a lot there. Well, one is just being able to understand that not only will you have that spot next year, there's a possibility that you might not have that spot next week or tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, like there's a difference between being an NFL player and being a professional. So like every day you have to carry yourself a certain way, and in the league it's a performance-driven league. So, you know, you could be someone of great character, someone that the coaches will recommend you for as far as letters of recommendations, but if your production isn't there, like, they have no reason to keep you. You know? So every day, you know, even if you're someone that is paid a lot, you may not get cut, but you may get traded.
Right.
And like Jared Verse, being with the LA Rams, super productive and got traded to the Browns, but unexpectedly. So every day is you just have to have that understanding of, like, you never arrived. That was one of the lessons that I learned at Florida State with Coach Kelly was, hey, you never arrived. Like, you made a good play today, or you're doing good, you had a good game, but you never arrive. And always having that mentality is key. And I just saw that quarterback Diego Pavia. Like, no disrespect to him,
right?
But just like he got cut.
Yeah.
And he was a Heisman candidate, right? So
yes.
It's like, it's not easy.
No,
it's not easy.
Yeah, and yeah, you're exactly. I'm glad, and I know my wife. She's probably listening. I'm just glad she doesn't look at our marriage that way, because every day I gotta, because I'm gonna have some bad days.
Right. We
she's
all
gonna
do.
cut me, or trade me.
Yeah.
I just, but yeah, that's just one of the. So when you watch these guys, there's a greater respect when you see those guys that are playing, 5 and 10 and 20, 15 years in the league, and you're just like, the grind. It's not just, they don't just give it to you, or, they're always looking for that competitive edge, and then you've always got somebody wanting your spot or wanting your position, and then there's always a draft. There's always a free agent market, and there's always coaching carousels that you might have a favorite coach, and he might love you, but they might get rid of him, and he might take a better job or going somewhere else. And maybe they got an all-pro playing your position, and he can't get you there.
Right. That's the politics. And college football isn't quite there yet because they're not cutting players. But
yet.
But yeah. So that's essentially, to your point earlier about the money they're making, that's the difference between college and pros right now is the Pro Bowlers and the all pros, the talent they have, but also like their jobs aren't on the line on a day-to-day basis. So
wow.
Yeah.
So do you think, now you got me thinking, so do you think when you're involved in that, do you think that we could ever live in a time where there would be a opportunity of a window of maybe not trade, but dropping into a portal during, because if they had not made some adjustments this year, I would say anything is possible from what they were running right before they started doing the 5-year. And then Ted Cruz come out and was trying to get some stuff done, and Trump was trying to talk about figuring out how to get stuff done to help, would that surprise you that they could open a window during the season and you could get in?
It would, because of how the playoffs work right now. And the amount of teams that are in college football. But if they were to do like a consolidation of conferences and make like a mini league, essentially like the Big Ten and the SEC combine or something. And then they have, you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like then I could see that, because in the NFL it's 32 teams. So like if you get cut or traded, like your landing spots are, it's finite.
Right.
Whereas in college football, it's like the ranges of the schools are so, like, you got like lower level schools and higher level schools, and it's like I'm not sure if the trade values would be there. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's so good, because that's really where if they don't get it under control. You've already heard Greg Sankey this week at the SEC Media Days say that there's a possibility that if they don't do what we want them to do, we'll go on our own.
Right.
And then they could add teams like Florida State, Notre Dame, and Clemson, and all these other schools that are kind of, hinged on, making a lot of money. They could all join up, and the next thing you know, we could have an NCAA and then the SEC Super over here making their own rules. Okay, so let's do something real quick. I want to do this with you, and I want to hear you give 3 answers. All right, this is not rehearsed or anything like that. We didn't talk about this. So they're back, they're on the up, or they're on the down. All right, they're back, they're up, or they're on the down. All right, I'm gonna name teams in college, and I want you to give me your honest opinion.
Okay,
if they're back, if they're declining, or if they're on their way up. All right. Missouri.
On the way up.
All right. Notre Dame.
Notre Dame is they're on their way up, but I feel like they're so high, like they just get snubbed. They just get snubbed. Yeah. But they're on the way up. For
All
sure.
right. This is going to burn you a little bit. Miami.
On the way up.
All right. Okay.
I'm just being honest.
All right. Florida.
Okay, is back on their way up or on a decline? They're not back. I'll give them a shot. I'll give the new head coach a shot. I'll say they're on their way up. I'll give them.
All right, Alabama.
I think they're declining.
Think they're going to decline?
I think they're declining. Yeah, but I mean, but not saying that.
I knew he was going to hurt my feelings.
Yeah,
I knew he was going to hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
What do you think about Auburn?
I like the coach. I don't want to say they're back. Why can't it be like they're good? Like, you know, like that. Like, I would say decline. I like the coach though. Like, I want so much success for him, but they're like with the options that I'm given.
Yeah, I got you. All right. Well, everybody, make sure that you go see Javion over at the MLK, right there on the corner of 15th and 14th. Right?
MLK. 15th and MLK.
15th and MLK.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to be, you can sign up for all the stuff. You've got all kinds of classes. You got everything right there. And what's the website again so that they can go and sign up?
You can visit our city website, panamacity.gov, or just come in. We have Zumba, Jiu-Jitsu, youth basketball, financial literacy, we have a lot to offer.
Yeah, so a bunch of stuff. Go over there, get involved. It's a great place. It's beautiful, and we'll come over there soon. Yeah. We got to because I want to go live over there and show everybody the beautiful place. Okay. But thank you so much for coming in. Local superstar, our friend Javion Elliott, everybody. Thank you so much for being here, my friend.
All right, thank you.
When we come back, we're going to dive into a little bit more about what's going on right here in sports on today. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
ESPN Northwest Florida. This is Braves country.
This one's going supersonic.
Tonight, the Atlanta Braves are at the Baltimore Orioles to kick off a 3-game series at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. The Braves sit in first place atop the NL East as they try to get their groove back. We'll have first pitch coming up at 6:15 tonight on your home for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
There's only one sport with games to bet every day the rest of the summer, and there's only one legal app to bet it. Bet baseball on Hard Rock Bet, your home to bet home runs, strikeouts, even the next at-bat. It's secure and regulated, so your money is safe. Step up to the plate with towering parlays that can turn a dollar bet into a max payout up to $2 million.
It's out of here!
Hard Rock Bet. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Get ready, Duval. Jaguars training camp is returning to Miller Electric Center for 2026. Join us for an up-close look at our players in action as they prepare for the upcoming season. Daily availability is limited, so don't wait. Be part of all the excitement as football returns to Jacksonville. Get more information and secure your tickets by visiting jaguars.com/training camp. We'll see you there.
KLA Builders is a general contractor based in Panama City Beach, specializing in home remodeling, renovations, and custom projects. KLA Builders offers services like kitchen and bathroom remodels, deck construction, and full home renovations. With a focus on craftsmanship and personalized service for residential projects, KLA Builders is turning client visions into reality. For a free estimate, call KLA Builders, 850-960-5115. That's 850-960-5115.
Night after night, the Atlanta Braves take the field with one thing on their minds: getting a W.
Olsen annihilates this thing. 2-run homer. That one barreled to the chop house.
Tonight, Ozzie Albies and the Braves hit the road for a quick interleague stop in Baltimore, taking on the Orioles at Camden Yards.
Coverage coming up at 6, first pitch 6:15 on your home for the Atlanta Braves. ESPN Northwest Florida.
It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog. Now. The Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson on ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are back live and local right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, your spot for the Atlanta Braves. Don't forget the Braves tonight take on the Baltimore Orioles. 6 o'clock is the coverage time. 6:15 is the first pitch. The Braves hoping to start it out right. Don't forget the Braves are sponsored by Hewitt Tire and Auto, Brock Pest Control, Bill Bird, Kia, PCB Hobby, Cito, and Blue Diamond Truck Accessories right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Don't forget, if you want to be a part of this show, you can be. All you got to do is call the Tropical Spas and Pool phone line. It's wide open, 850-215-6290. You can do that, and you can also message us on Facebook. We're right there as well, ready to go. We're going to go ahead and go to the phone line. We got Ed on the line. Ed, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing all right, man. How y'all doing?
We are doing great.
Not Tony Romo great.
Not Tony Romo great, but definitely great. Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely fumbled the ball on this one, huh?
Yeah, and it was recovered by the other team, actually.
Man, that's the topic I wanted to bring up today, if that's all right.
Yeah, go ahead.
Man, you get a bad case of booze, you get a bad case of character, and you just have a bad night or a bad moment, man, and anything like that could happen to each and any one of us, honestly, man.
Yeah, no, you're right. And the thing is like a lot of people, and I've heard the commercials, with that being said, buzz driving is drunk driving, and that's the thing that a lot of people, and I would say, especially men, we have the tendency to be like, we can handle it. We can do it. Mm-hmm. We can do it. You know what I mean? Put a Band-Aid on it. We're fine. But, I don't understand, and it's easy for me to sit back and armchair quarterback, as funny as that may sound, and say, as famous as he is, as much money as he has, why couldn't you just pick up the phone and call somebody? Why couldn't you just text somebody? Uber.
Tiger Woods would have given him a ride.
Oh, wow.
Wow. I mean, but I'm just saying, like, call you. He's got friends. He's got people. He's, again, these guys have made so much in their career. And I mean, he's currently, doing play-by-play. So he's definitely under contract. He's making millions of dollars to call football games. Who could he call? He could call somebody. Say, hey, man, I think I had, too much. Let me get some. Come get me.
Look, I'm going to say this. I don't know his situation. I don't know what he's going through, mentally or whatever. But I will say this. As someone that is recovering day by day doing this disease does not discriminate. It doesn't care about your race, your ethnicity, your religion, how much money you make, how many people are following you. It doesn't matter, dude, because this disease can catch up to the homeless of the homeless and the rich of the rich, dude. And I've seen it from both angles when I go to a certain meeting. You know what I mean? Yeah. I've heard it from both sides of the angle. This is if he is suffering from it, or anyone else that is suffering from a disease of this, it does not discriminate, dude, and it doesn't make you think straight.
Right. Yeah. No, and that's the deal. And again, I hate to be that guy that says this, but it's like, man, if you're going somewhere and you're going to have some drinks, go ahead and set it up. Go ahead and either have an Uber, go ahead and have a friend, go ahead and have somebody. I mean, designated drivers are designated to drive you home so that this kind of stuff doesn't happen. Because God forbid, this is the best that could happen. The worst that could have happened is if he would have hit somebody and caused somebody, somebody's life that maybe it was just working the night shift and was going home because they've been working the night shift trying to supply food and take care of their family.
And, I think that's something we do need to talk about, like these athletes, and, that goes for anybody, man. People have problems. And I'm not against alcohol. I'm not against alcohol. But I condone it when people abuse anything. That's for anything, though. And then getting behind the wheel is just plain stupid. There's no excuse.
Yeah, there is no excuse. And that's what I was going to say.
And as a role model, like how y'all were talking about, these guys are celebrities, role models. People are looking at them, like kids are looking at them wearing their jerseys and stuff. It puts a black eye on them.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, this is gonna haunt him. There's gonna be, hopefully, if he does have a problem, hopefully he gets help. Hopefully it's just a one and done type thing, and maybe this is just an eye opener, because sometimes the best thing is to get caught whenever you're doing something that you don't need to be doing.
And we're hearing about this more often. It's becoming more and more out there. Like, I remember like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I called in, and that Dustin Portier guy. Remember him? The one he was drunk at the airport.
Yeah.
He got arrested.
Yeah. I mean, and he was. I mean, this is not funny, but it kind of is comical. He lost his sponsorship from Bud Light, so he's no longer a Bud Light spokesperson.
Well, sometimes being embarrassed is a hell of a punishment too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, you don't think people are going to see him and be like, man, hey, or like going to put their hands around their mouth, like, hey, check it out, hey, it's Romo, hey, that alcoholic, or hey, dude, he's a drunk. You know what I mean? That's an insult, dude. That's a terrible thing to be called.
Yeah.
Hey, that guy's drunk.
Yeah.
You know?
No doubt. Well, Ed, thank you so much for the call, my friend. Always a pleasure.
Y'all take it easy. Have a great weekend, y'all. All right?
Yes, sir. You too, buddy. Thank you so much. You know, Bone Crusher, this isn't the first time. I mean, if you remember, it was a couple of years ago. Troy Aikman and Joe Buck, they were saucing it up during the broadcast.
Oh, yeah?
And they got caught drinking on the air. Yeah, they were drinking. They would have Jack and Coke. They would have, just drinks while they were doing their broadcasts of calling football games. And it was a big deal. Neither one of them lost their job, but they got reprimanded or whatever. But again, I'm not sitting here shining the light down on everybody saying, "Oh, you're this, you're that." But I mean, you kind of, the old saying is you call a spade a spade. I mean, you brought up Tiger Woods. I mean, that's exactly what happened. He did the same thing, whether it was alcohol or whether it was prescription drugs or whatever. These guys, you would think, would somehow, some way pad themselves from the ability to do this kind of stuff. Like call a friend, if you're going out and you're going to go have some drinks, have the decency enough to tell somebody, and to me, especially when you're a celebrity like that, yeah, it might be like, again, it might be a macho thing. Oh, I don't need anybody to drive me home. I can do it on my own. But at what point are you going to say, hey, man, somebody else needs to drive? I don't.
I've got no sympathy for drunk drivers. I'm sorry, Tony. It's great, like you said, that no one got hurt. But the honest truth is that we all know somebody who's been affected by a drunk driver. My father was killed by a drunk driver on his way home from work. That guy just got out of prison, borrowed someone's car, and got drunk, head-on collision.
Wow.
I have no sympathy for any of this.
No. Wow, I had no idea. So, yeah, exactly. That's exactly why you don't do it. And, I said that earlier, God forbid that happen. And with something like that happening, yeah, there is no excuse. There's so many other things. We've got Uber Eats. We got Uber for, there's all these different places that you can call. I've got friends that they do Uber, and it's inexpensive. And who cares? If you're going to go out and drink, you need to find somebody to drive you because you're not able to do it yourself. And that's it.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty cut and dry.
Plenty of people would love to give Tony Romo a ride home.
Yeah, of course. I mean, exactly right. Well, we're going to go ahead and take our next break. When we come back, we're going to be having, from SEC sidelines, Rob Brown on the phone talking about the SEC Media Days. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Come on vacation.
Summer vacation. Hey, how's your vacation going?
Leave on probation.
Sheriff's deputies in Panama City Beach arresting 161 people during an out-of-control spring break weekend.
Welcome to the Emerald Coast. Have a great time at the beautiful beaches, but not like end up in the back of a police cruiser great. A friendly reminder from 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good afternoon. This is Anna on ESPN Northwest Florida with Friday's weather forecast. Mostly sunny the remainder of the day with temps near 91 and a wind 10 to 15 miles per hour. Partly cloudy skies tonight, a light breeze, and a temperature of 82. The same tomorrow around 91 with some sun throughout the day with a possibility of thunderstorms in the afternoon. Partly sunny Sunday and hot around 92. This forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Instant Replay Sports Cards welcomes former Kansas City Royal pitcher Randy McGilberry. He's going to be at Instant Replay Sports Cards for a book signing on Saturday, August 1st from 1 to 3. Get the new book, Dare to Dream, Believing in Yourself by Randy McGilberry. Come meet Randy, get personalized autographs, and have your photo taken with an MLB legend. Don't miss this special event Saturday, August 1st at Instant Replay Sports Cards, 752 West 23rd Street in the Sanford Station, Panama City.
You've been low-key thinking about dropping a podcast. Well, now is the time to start, brah. Sports, politics, finance, science, health, real estate, music, interviews, surfing, conspiracy theories, or alien abductions. Ready to main character your own content? We can make it happen with Turnkey Podcast Productions from 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. Our local, modern, state-of-the-art multimedia recording studio is now available for booking, starting at just $100 an episode. Take your fandom to the next level. For more information, text the keyword studio to 850-215-6290. Text studio to 850-215-6290. Text studio 215-6290 or jam over to espnpc.com. Bruh.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe, ESPN Northwest Florida.
The locals love it.
Night after night, the Atlanta Braves take the field with one thing on their minds: getting a W.
Olsen annihilates this thing. Two-run homer that was barreled to the chop house.
Tonight, Ozzie Albies and the Braves hit the road for a quick interleague stop in Baltimore, taking on the Orioles at Camden Yards.
Coverage coming up at 6, first pitch 6:15 on your home for the Atlanta Braves. ESPN, Northwest Florida.
When the sun sets on the Emerald Coast, the freaks come out and play.
Hi, I'm a recovering crackhead.
Hand me that shotgun. Get on your knees!
The Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
What it do, people? It's the homie Lil Cash. Right now you tuned in with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida, the hottest sports show in the South. Let's go. Cause Lil Cash with another hit with Paul Wilson on the Sports Blitz. Where they talk trash and they talk ish. When it comes to sports, man, they too legit. It's 104.3 ESPN. If you love sports, better chime in. NFL, college, local sports, they got it. NBA, they got it. Sports Blitz, the top. The show hottest wasabi. Better tune in and go watch it. Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. If you even tried, you can't stop it. Bone Crusher gon' pop it. No Jeff gon' pop it. Go like, comment, subscribe, and share. Right now.
It is 5 o'clock and you're locked in at the 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Sports Blitz, baby, with Paul Wilson, and we're so glad you made it to the weekend. So excited about being here today. Glad to have everyone here listening. Don't forget, if you want to be a part of this show, you can be. All you got to do is call in 850-215-6290 on the Tropical Spas and Pools phone line. Bone Crusher's here. I'm here. Jeffrey's off on vacation today, but we're so glad to have on the phone lines from the SEC sidelines, Rob Brown. Rob, how you doing today, my friend?
Doing great, man. Riding around Memphis. Love the intro. Just was talking to some friends down here on 38. A lot of Memphis folks live down on 38, or they're down there half the year, so they're going to be listening, and we're going to make them all fans of 104.3, and I love your producer. This guy's good.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he is. He is a step ahead above everybody. Can't do this thing without him.
No talent, ass clown.
Oh, wow. So, Rob, we had it going, man. You had everybody in town, in Tampa, getting busy, talking about what their programs are going to be like. I want to start it out. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff we're going to be able to dissect here. We got a good 40 minutes to talk about this. I know you're locked in. You know all about what's being said. My first question to you is the new coaches. You've got all of these new guys from John Summerall, even Silverfield, he's coming in and saying all the things that he said. You've got Alex Golish. You even got Lane Kiffin at LSU. out of all of those guys, who are you most impressed with being on the stage for their first time? Obviously, Lane had been there several times before, but maybe we'll just throw it to those three guys. Who are you most impressed with those three guys coming in?
Ryan Silverfield, I like him, know him from Memphis. You know, he's been on our show a couple of times in the last year, and I sent him something after his appearance. I thought he was really good. He is very, very organized guy that's from Jacksonville, went to the Bowles School. He's a money-raising machine at Arkansas. And look, learn to love chicken tenders. The Tysons have jumped on board. There's an NIL commitment up there at Arkansas north of $95 million.
Wow.
And trust me, they're getting – you got people like Warren Stevens, the largest off-Wall Street investment bank in America in Little Rock. He's worth well over $7 million. There's money there. Ryan Silverfield knows how to ask for it. It's one thing to know people with money, but more importantly, can you get them to give it up? I love John Summerall is who I wanted as an Auburn man, but I cover all 16 schools. I've got 16 children, and I love them all the same, so I'm harder on Auburn than any school, but I love Summerall. You know, wife graduated from Auburn. He's a Kentucky guy, but he gets it. You hear the term player's coach. Don't ever confuse it and think, oh, man, he likes to play cards and play quarters and get liquored up with his players. No. He's like, dude, brother, I've been there. I know what it takes to be a champion. I played at Kentucky, buddy. I mean, I felt like Carlton the doorman on the old Rhoda show. No one ever heard what we were doing, hardly ever, unless we beat the Gators. But I think Summerall absolutely understands what it's going to take. And then you got Alex Golesh at Auburn. He's got to deprogram 5 years of the worst coach in Auburn history, Brian Harsin, followed up by the worst coach in Auburn history, the defeated man, Doug Weiner's husband, Wendy Weiner's husband, Doug Weiner. Hugh Freeze. I keep calling him Hugh Sleaze, but I apologize. But Auburn has forgotten how to win the last 5 years, and so has Florida. I mean, they could snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, unlike anything I've ever seen. But I think those three coaches, they all know each other, and they're bringing – this is a great threesome. And then you got Will Stein at Kentucky. I love his boldness, man. They're going to win because of me.
Yeah.
You need that. So what are you supposed to say? Well, we're not going to win. Well, why are they paying you all that money? So I like these guys. Trust me, if I didn't, I'd tell you, because I'm a truth broker. If someone asks me if something's a good investment and I don't think it is, I'm going to tell them, because if not, I'm eventually going to have to take the phone call from them or their grandchildren or their children. So just shoot straight. But I do like these guys.
So let me ask you this, because a lot of people are talking about Ryan Silverfield with what he said, being funny, doing the things that he did, and then the other statement of what's your record against these guys, and he said 3-1, thank you, and then he kind of a little bit, gave the old I'm not going to throw the podium at you, kind of given about what John Summerall had said earlier in the week. But do you think with the money and are they going to really be able to turn this team upside down? Because obviously his style of coaching compared to who he's replacing with Sam Pittman, it's almost like night and day. You've got this older guy who has been offensive-minded or offensive line-minded. Let's run the football, 3 yards in a cloud of dust most of the time. How do you think they're going to, there's going to be some growing pains. There's going to be some tough knocks. Are they going to be able to stay with Ryan Silverfield and give him time to really get the kids that fit his style of play with the money that's coming in?
All right, first off, he's 5-1 against those coaches, 4-2 against the Power 4 teams at Memphis. Last year he brought in 71 new players at Memphis. He brought one of those stud running backs, Sutton Smith, over with him. If they improve 100% this year, they're 4-8. I don't look for them to win 5 or 6 games, maybe. Strength of schedule, it's the number one in the country. That's a lot more of a deal in basketball than it is, I believe, in football. But I think Ryan Silverfield was in the NFL for 8 years. He knows the offensive line position. I had Gabe Kuhn on the show with me this morning, ESPN 92.9 in Memphis. Started at Memphis 14, 15, 16, 17, 51 straight games at right guard. So he played for Fuente and Norvell. and Ryan Silverfield was his coach all the whole time.
Yeah.
So he said Ryan's an NFL guy. He understands it. He brought in 43 new players in the portal in high school this year. But the first thing you noticed about him when he got the Arkansas job, he flipped 4 of the top 6 players in the state of Arkansas back to the Hogs within 24 hours. If you're around this guy, you're going to realize he plans. He's like a mechanical engineer. He's a planner, but they've got to be able to recruit back in Texas, Oklahoma. They go into Memphis hard, but there's just not the population, in the state of Arkansas. 2.9 million people, 3 million people. The average income for 2.9 million of them is about $52,000. There's 100,000 people in the state that make over 100,000, and then there's about a dozen families up there that collectively are worth over 100 billion. Well, sorry, I forgot about the Waltons. That's about 350 to 400 billion. Although the Walton family, keep this in mind, they give to the academics. The last 2 capital campaigns at Arkansas, they've given $400 and $500 million respectively for academics. They also give to Missouri, but the Tysons, John Tyson has really stepped up. But again, they're going to have to be able to go into, they call that the high South up there. You better be able to get down into the deep South, in the heart of Dixie, if you're going to get an SEC championship caliber team. But Ryan Silverfield, he's from Florida. He knows how to recruit. He's always done well at Memphis, going into Alabama and Mississippi and Florida. So, hey, he'll go down to L.A., lower Alabama, the Florida Panhandle, and say hi to Michael Jordan and Angie Galluli out there having a cocktail on the beach. Michael, hell of a bowler, was on the Pro Bowlers Tour for 3 years, and was the Odor Eaters Man of the Year in 2025. So just wanted to say hello to him.
Awesome. Yeah, that sounds great. But Bone Crusher, our producer, he can't bowl at all. So yeah, they'd be good friends.
I wish Jeff was here. He loves bowling.
Yeah, he could bowl. Jeff can bowl.
I think I hit a 200 once.
Yeah, there you go. Well, I mean, that's pretty good.
That's pretty darn good, man.
Yeah, that's not bad at all.
Gosh.
Well, let's go into John Summerall a little bit. Obviously, a lot of the fans listen in this area, got a lot of Gator fans. And with Jeff not being here, it's good because he's the local Gator hater. When you look at how good Summerall has been, and then now he's into the big boy, he's in the big boy league. He comes in with the, I'm a former player. I know what's going on. He's got the stuff. He talks about the stuff. When I asked him the question about what the expectation was, he said, obviously it's to win every game, but obviously we know that he's not going to, and he knew that. He said that. Yeah. But how do you feel like a turnaround comes with Summerall, even if the first year with that tough schedule that they have is a little rough around the edges?
I think John Summerall, portability of success is absolutely critical. He's won at Troy up on 231. He won both years he was there. They played for the conference championships. And also, he won at Tulane in those 2 years. Keep in mind, Florida had 16 commitments when he got the job. 14 of them he kept at Florida. Every player committed to Tulane stayed at Tulane. He is a player's coach. He is a hard ass. I know his friend John Hartwell, my friend was the former AD at Troy from 2012 to 2015. He's known John and his family since he was in high school. Shout out to the Grissom Tigers up in Huntsville, the smartest city in Alabama, I might add, the Rocket City. But I think about John Summerall is he brings a staff, and a lot of really good interviews. I know Buddy Martin, God bless him, I love him, has talked to him. We're going to get him on the show soon. And John Summerall said, look, you know that voice. You go, look, you don't bring the same staff everywhere you are. I mean, some guys are a good fit. People say, aren't you going to bring them all? No. Some of them just not going to fit at this school or that school, but I want to get the right staff. He went and got Brad White out of Kentucky, the Kiffin killer. Look what he did to Kiffin's offenses. Look what he did to those Georgia offenses. And put it to bed, people. Mike Bobo out of Thomasville, Georgia. Kirby out of Bainbridge down there in southwest Georgia. Mike Bobo is a hell of a coach. And look what Brad White did with Kentucky talent. Now he's got Florida talent. And if you look at Florida high school football, what separates it from the rest of the country, and Mouse Holloway, the Florida track and field coach, has won 14 national championships. Track and field, put it in the books. It is your insurance policy for every sport you play. You get the big guys out there in Florida, they're throwing the shot and the discus. And some of them are even running on the 4x400 relay team. But I think John Summerall, what he brings is he ratchets it up. And he's not afraid, hey, does the dress make me look fat? Yeah, you need to drop a few. You look like, you need to go see Omar the tent maker for that next dress. He'll tell you the truth. And
Right.
You got to love a guy that does that. And I'll admit, as an Auburn man, I wanted him so bad. And I think Auburn tried to tell him who to hire. And rightfully so, he said, well, all due respect, my wife graduated from here, and I know this program well. If the ship goes down, like the Titanic, it's going down, and the band will play all the way to the end, to the bottom. And that's what he does. I look for Florida. I got Florida winning 8 games this year, and I got them winning on the road September 19th at Jordan-Hare Stadium. God, I'm so glad to see that rivalry come back. As a kid, I've grown up. I've been going to the Panhandle since I was 10 months old down to Destin, and that's just the most gorgeous area, the whole Florida Panhandle in the country. But reading the football magazines and talking smack with Florida, Auburn, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, LSU, Ole Miss fans, what more could you ask for?
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. I think that's going to be a precedent. That game is going to be a precedent, and I agree with you. I think it's going to be a very easy way for them. I think they're going to grind some things out once they figure out who their quarterback is. But with him saying about the quarterback, how did you take what he said that the week 2 quarterback might not be the week 12 quarterback? Because I was in that mindset of he kind of tipped his hand a little bit that, hey, if it doesn't go well for one of these guys, we're open and okay to give the other guy a shot and keep him ready if that does happen.
It's smart because, Aaron Philo and Mel Jones, both of them are capable. I follow Georgia Tech. Our oldest daughter went to Alabama. She's still a good person, lives in Atlanta. And I follow Georgia Tech closely. Buster Faulkner, maybe he's not an elite offensive coordinator because he has never had Florida talent.
Yeah.
Now that he's got Florida talent, and here's a couple of things to keep in mind. Back, Jaden Ball. That guy's a strength and conditioning coach's best friend. You don't even have to be there. He's going to push everybody. And it's important for a new quarterback, a new system, to have that. But here's what's important. I like Philo because Buster Faulkner have a lot of familiarity with one another. Look at Kurt Cignetti. Say what you want about that guy. That's the only kind of coach that I like. People say he's mean, he's tough. He's like, you know what? Ask him about him. Kurt Cignetti says, Google me. I win. Next question. I think what Florida's got going, they've got to learn how to win again, too. I mean, Billy Napier was Mr. Low Energy. I'm sorry, he had that dime store hair. I don't know what it was about him. He just did not inspire guys to play great football. And as Buddy said, whenever one of his coaches would leave, he'd go, I'd love to say we're going to miss you, but I never knew you. It was like the old Iron Curtain in the Kremlin with Pravda. Nobody knew what was going on. Again, you can't do it that way anymore. And more what I'm seeing is John Summerall is what I've been saying they've got to start doing. You're already alienating fans with higher ticket prices, NIL, Tennessee charging 10%. It's not sustainable. John Summerall's welcoming the people back. But the guy that does not get enough credit for putting Florida on the map, rest his soul, I know his widow, Ward Pell, Charlie Pell, when he came there in 1979, they went 0-10-1 his first year. The next year, the Gators went 8-4. At the time, the largest, biggest turnaround from one season to the next in college football history. 11 of the 22 players on that roster were quarterbacks in high school. That's the kind of athletes you got in the state of Florida. Gators are going to start ascending. buy Florida right now. It's like buying Coca-Cola or Procter & Gamble or Walmart when they're down. Those are dividend stocks that keep paying. As MJ says, don't get mad at your money. Just look at the big picture. John Summerall, yes, he's coming from the Sun Belt. From the American Conference. But don't compare him to Billy Napier, okay? That's like Billy Napier was like all-wheel drive Subaru. John Summerall is like an F-150 4x4 that's been leveled, okay? Totally different kind of coaches. He will win. If I'm wrong, I will run down the beach naked for 2 miles yelling, I was an idiot.
Well, hopefully you will be 100% right, because I don't think anybody wants to see that.
I'm just saying. I just really believe in Summerall. I think, and I look at the staff, look at Brad White and Buster Faulkner, two of the most respected, hottest coordinators in the country. He got them both on the first try.
Yeah, no, that's the biggest part about it all. Surrounding yourself, knowing that you can do the job, but having the right people in the right positions. And he was so very, cordial whenever we were talking to him about how much he's going to lean on those guys because they know what to do. You know, if you remember, Buster, he played Georgia tough as can be, and took them into overtime and all of that. So, those guys are going to be ready to go. I think I agree with you. Even if they don't get 8, I think they do get, way more than what they had last year. But I think the building, and I agree with you on it coming back, I believe they're going to be totally back. We're going to go ahead and take our next break. When we come back, we'll continue with Rob Brown. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. This is Braves country.
This one's going supersonic.
Tonight, the Atlanta Braves are at the Baltimore Orioles to kick off a 3-game series at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. The Braves sit in first place atop the NL East as they try to get their groove back. We'll have first pitch coming up at 6:15 tonight on your home for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening, this is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Friday. Some clouds tonight with a light breeze around 6 miles per hour coming out of the west-northwest, and look for the low to be 81. Tomorrow morning, there will be mostly sunshine with a temperature reaching 89. Partly sunny in the afternoon and evening with a high of 91. Sunday will have a high of 89 and some sun. This weather is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, where the locals go for the best boiled seafood around. Crawfish, shrimp, red royals, and everything crabs. Watch almost every sporting event in the country on their huge outdoor jumbotron. Follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on weekly events, live music, and food and beer specials. Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, your home away from home for sports, good times, and great food. The best boiled seafood. Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, 320 West 5th Street. Downtown Panama City.
Looking for the most romantic night out in Panama City? Ferrucci Ristorante is your destination for authentic Italian cuisine and unforgettable moments. The candlelight, the wine, the homemade pasta. It's like a little slice of Italy. From handcrafted sauces to centuries-old recipes, Ferrucci brings true Italian flavor to every plate. It's where love stories begin and anniversaries are celebrated. To reserve your table, call 850-913-9131. Ferrucci Ristorante, Panama City's most romantic escape.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida gets results. Here's Brandon Strickland from Recommended Collision Center, Jinx Avenue in Panama City.
At Recommended Collision Center, we're all about taking care of our community, and advertising on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida has helped us do just that. Social media ads were getting stale, but the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson gave us a fresh way to reach local customers. We've seen more vehicles coming in for estimates, more phone calls, and more people recognizing our name. It's been a great partnership for our business, pairing up with 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
To see how 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida can help grow your business, go to ESPNPC.com and click the contact button. Get your message heard and cut through the clutter. Go to ESPNPC.com and click the contact button.
Pound the like and crush the subscribe. The Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson is live on YouTube. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. We're live and local right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. This is the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson, and we're so glad that you've joined us today on this beautiful day in Panama City Beach. Don't forget, if you want to be a part of this show, you can be. Tropical Spas and Pools phone line, 850-215-6290. You can call in. You can text in on that. Me and Bone Crushers here. We've got Rob Brown of SEC Sidelines on the phone line right now. Rob, I will tell you this. I'm going to tell you because I wanted to tell you before. Your opening intro, I don't know if you got to hear mine, but your opening intro, man, it sounds so good. It's so catchy, and I really enjoy it whenever I'm checking out your show and listening to you guys tell us all about what's happening. I just wanted to tell you that. I think it's a great song, and whoever wrote it, whoever sung it, they did a fantastic job.
Well, thank you. That's Brendan Martin, our executive producer. Love it. He put that together for me, and got to get you on our show next week. So I don't know what your availability is, but we go 8 to 9 Monday through Friday Central, and I'm thinking maybe next Thursday if you could join us at 8:02 a.m. Central. I'd love to get you on because just being on your show puts me in a great mood because I'm going to get down there in September or October. You cannot beat being down in the Panhandle, the Emerald Coast. It is the most gorgeous beaches in the world. Best-looking women, best Gulf Coast seafood is the greatest. It's just, and think about this. You're on the beach drinking road sodas, talking about college football, listening to ESPN 104.3 with Bone Crusher Smith. I mean, what's not to like about it?
That's exactly
I'm
right.
a Memphis guy. You got to realize, I know Jerry Lawler. I've met him. My deer processor's daughter is married to him. And so, listen, by the way, Jerry Lawler does not lift weights. That's all natural. I'm telling you. I'm being serious.
That's right. Well, I'll tell you this. I'll have to get with my agent to see if I can be booked, which is my wife. But, yeah, I'm pretty sure that'll be okay. We can figure it out. But let's get into this. There was some very undertones going on from Kalen DeBoer whenever he was asked about championships and what does he want to do at Alabama. And, you know, one of the CBS guys, which is former Alabama player Damian Harris, he said he was very disappointed. He was very discouraged about the future of Alabama football because he was waiting on him to say, I want to get us back to the top. And he never would say, I want to win a national title. I want to bring the title back to, Title Town. I want to bring this back to Tuscaloosa. It was a very humble response to a very big opportunity to excite your fan base who already is a little bit sideways on whether or not we've accepted you into the family or not. What did you think about what he said, Rob?
I didn't like what he said. I mean, he's from Aberdeen, South Dakota, and I think Josh Heupel's from Millbrook, South Dakota. So we got two coaches from the pheasant capital of the world, by the way. I love going up there to hunt. But, no, I don't like that at all. And I know that Alabama program very well. In fact, Sidelines is sponsoring a table, one of the speakers for the Touchdown Club of Memphis, August 10th. Greg McElroy is coming up there, and I'll be sitting at the table with him. And I'm going to ask him that question. And, what we talk about that's OPSEC is OPSEC, but still, stupid answer. Should have never done that because the standard at Alabama, it's the greatest tradition in the history of college football. All these other programs, Michigan's won over 1,000 games, but you know what? They were playing there's no comparison in the competition. So, no, he should not have said that. Remember this about Kalen DeBoer. He's won everywhere he's ever been. He's a winner. Check. You know what he's never had to do? Fire people.
Yeah.
Because he's won everywhere. And he's not very comfortable firing his friends. You hire your buddies, you're all going to get fired together. And I'll tell you something. Ryan Grubb, when he was the offensive coordinator, my friend Pete Cordell, he coached with Holtz for 15 years. He's on our show Monday with Ellis Johnson and Dave Bartu on the Monday Blitz. Pete's right. They couldn't run the ball in Seattle. Ryan Grubb goes. He's gone. Goes back to Alabama. They have the worst rushing attack since 1957 when venerable old, and I think he should have been given a lifetime contract, J.B. Ears Whitworth was the coach there in 1957. Unfortunately, they were so bad, Auburn beat them 6 years in a row, they fired him and brought back Paul W. Bryant, Mama called, from Texas A&M, and that's that, but that's a whole other chapter. Stupid. They ran the ball last year only one time. Jam Miller had 113 yards in one game. If you go back and look, Alabama's DNA, who they are, is smash mouth, running the football. If Saban opened it up with Lane Kiffin's help, they can run the ball a lot. But dumb. The offensive line last year against Georgia in the SEC championship, -3 yards rushing. Okay, against Oklahoma, they were down 17-0, came back and won. They averaged 4 feet per carry in that game. Then they played Indiana, and you know, the FBI issued a missing persons report for the offensive line. I mean, they were so bad. In those 3 games, they combined for 50 total yards rushing. And so you get rid of the offensive line coach, and for some reason, he's on the staff at Auburn, and a friend of mine said, well, maybe that's because he's got the lead on a lot of recruits, but he's not the offensive line coach. But be careful. Whenever Kurt Roper shows up to be an offensive coordinator somewhere, basically the respirator's on, the priest is in the room, and they're calling the kinfolk to come to the bedside because it's over. You're done.
Yeah.
You're going 6 feet under. Okay, so I look at this situation. I do not like it, and I'm not attacking Alabama. You know, I may be an Auburn grad, but I'm objective. I've got as many Alabama friends as I do Auburn. But here's the problem. Their running game is awful. You had Caden Proctor last year. You had some talent. You had, you know, your center, you know, Parker Brailsford, he just wasn't that big.
Yeah.
I mean, what's really different this year, y'all? Alabama, they got everything else that you need, but the offensive line is subpar. And you know what? Kalen DeBoer, that's the wrong answer. You know, you join the Marine Corps, you say, I joined the Marine Corps. Don't say for the college money. You know what you're joining for. When you take that job at Alabama, you knew what you were signing up for. And, yeah, he's got a better record than Nick Saban in his first 2 years. He's 20-8. Nick Saban was 19-7. But guess what? When Nick Saban took over, Alabama in the previous 10-year period had lost 5 games, 7 of those 10 seasons, 5 games or more, okay? Yep. And he picks up and follows Nick Saban, the man from Monongah, West Virginia, and so much talent, and he had 31 players hit the portal, including Caleb Downs, who was went to Ohio State. All these guys left. That's on Kalen DeBoer. Again, he doesn't know how to fire people, and he better learn how to do it. Right now, Alabama has got him so wrapped up in that $70 million contract. If you took a poll of Alabama fans, the majority of them thought that was a stupid move, and it could cost Greg Byrne and a lot of people dearly going forward.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's the biggest part of it. If you don't have the energy and it makes you feel like you're about to fall asleep, there's nothing to get excited about. That's what the Alabama faithful want. And then the other deal is that Alabama fans, because they've been conditioned to win championships, they don't really care about your winning percentage, and they don't care how many games you've won. Have you won the game, which is the one at the end of the year when nobody else wins? That's the one they want. And when they don't have those, there's problems in Tuscaloosa. I want to move over to Lane Kiffin. This was a different deal, and I want to get your take on what you feel like Lane, how he responded. This whole time he's been on social media, he's been doing the things. We've had all the fighting between him and Ole Miss and all of the fans, the hot yoga. Lane Kiffin was the largest story of the whole college football season outside of actually playing the game, sometimes even more than playing the game. But now it seems like a more mature, albeit confident Lane Kiffin stepped to the podium, but talking about how he's telling players we need to put the social media down, it's time to get to work. I've learned that this and I've learned that is the best way to do it. This guy's totally made a 100% change from what we saw before he even came to LSU.
Well, be careful because was it Ryan McGee last year that got used on that interview? Oh, I've changed my life and blah, blah, blah. Let's remember about guys like Lane Kiffin, and this is true, and they say it down south, and that's not nothing. Zebras don't change their stripes. They just change their watering holes. He's still Lane Kiffin, and I came up for a term for him. He's a narcissopath. That's a combination of a narcissist and a sociopath, okay? He is not going to change. The difference is at LSU, if you think there's pressure at Ole Miss, and there hasn't been until now, buddy, you're going to LSU, and the governor down there, who's goofier than a football bat, Jeff Landry, has called a meeting of the 40 biggest donors next year. Let me make a bet they have Raising Cane chicken tenders as appetizers. But they're going to get together next year, and, it's something that's different. They said never been done before. Well, it's not private equity. And by the way, private equity at the University of Utah, they're going to tell them who their president's going to be, who their AD is going to be, who the coach is going to be, who the starting quarterback is going to be. They'll probably change the fight song. You get in bed with private equity, I can assure you, it's kind of like dealing with the Teamsters when you're doing concrete work up in New York City or New Jersey. Ask Jimmy Hoffa. He's buried in the end zone at the Meadowlands at the Giants Stadium. We never found him, but I think that's where he is. I'm telling you, Kiffin ain't going to change anything. He will always be the same person. He is who he is, okay? Rumors last year, he's sitting back with his wife. No, he's not. He's not. And I don't – but you know what? He's got talent. If you played wide receiver at LSU in this century, there's probably an 80 or 90% chance if you started one or two seasons, you went to the NFL.
Yep.
He's got talent, and he's got the high school. And what he's doing, he's got a pretty good staff, but you didn't see a ton of his players go with him. They wanted to stay at Ole Miss. But I got LSU. My top 5 is Georgia and Ole Miss playing in Atlanta, and my other 3 are Texas, Oklahoma, and Texas A&M. Then I've got Alabama, LSU, Tennessee, Florida, Auburn, on down after that. And that's not even including Lenore Sellers at South Carolina, who's got 23 career starts. The magic number, you need 24 to 30 starts in college to make it in the NFL. You know how many guys in this century that have started fewer than that, say 13 or 14 games, and had a successful career in this century? There's one of them. And he is a unicorn, okay? He was born February 30th, I think. Cam Newton at Auburn went one season at 14-0.
Yep.
All these other guys like Anthony Richardson at Florida, yeah, the measurables are great. They look great in compression shorts. They run fast. They do all that stuff. It's the mental part of it. You got to deposit all that stuff into your memory bank. But Lane Kiffin, he wins everywhere he goes, but he still underwhelms a couple of times a year, even with the talent that he's had. But he's never had top-to-bottom talent like he's got at LSU. So I expect big things out of him, and they're not going to stop spending. I mean, the state will go broke to keep that football program relevant.
Do you believe, because you just said Ole Miss and you said Georgia, right, playing in the championship?
Yeah, that's what I think.
So you believe that this Ole Miss team, so you're buying, that lets me know right now that you're buying into Pete Golden, because everything, if you look at their schedule, it is brutal, it is tough, and it's playing these guys that are going to be, throwing everything at the kitchen sink at them. I mean, I understand everything that you said about Lane Kiffin. I agree with you. I'm curious, when you said that, it perked my ears up. I'm curious to know what you think about, because I get it. He's got Trinidad Chambliss. Again, Trinidad Chambliss making more than LeBron James this year coming up. LeBron making 4, Trinidad making 5. Would you ever thought we'd have said that? But either way,
yeah.
Give me what your idea is on this whole Golden thing, because I'm not impressed. I think there's going to be a fall off, but give me what you think, because obviously you got them playing Georgia in the championship.
Well, and I think they can, but here we're going to find out real quick. They better not make this LSU game the end-all, be-all Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It is the 3rd game, September 19th. It'll probably be the biggest remember all the build-up to Y2K? We were training for it at my firm for 5 years. It was the biggest event since the last non-event since the last Ice Age, okay? It's just they're making this thing like it's a big deal. But Ole Miss fans, almost 100% of them, we talked about it yesterday with Jake Wimberly down in Jackson, almost 100% of them, they don't want to beat anybody on the schedule other than LSU. That's their – be careful of that, okay? But then here's the thing. The following week, Ole Miss has to go on the road to the Swamp.
Yep.
No one gets out alive, okay? If they fall apart against LSU, boy, the wheels will come off when they get down there to Gainesville. And LSU has a big game the week after they play Ole Miss. That's going to be critical. But I still like with Golding, he's an excellent recruiter. He's only 41 years old, went to Delta State, home of the Fighting Okra. They got the best logo in America. It's an okra with his dukes up. But he's a great recruiter. Everyone tries to criticize him for his time at Alabama. You think you can survive 5 years on Nick Saban's staff if you're a lousy coach?
Exactly.
Impossible, okay? And he's a great recruiter. But what's smart about Golding, I think that his players know who he is. He's authentic. I loved his answers at media days. But I'm going to tell you what, September 19th and September 26th, if they blow that, boy, then you're talking about a 5-alarm fire. But I don't see it happening. And one thing about this Ole Miss team is only 4 guys went to LSU. There's a lot of guys that want to be there that love Ole Miss. Once your mind expands from eating at CK's coffee shop and getting a steak at 3 in the morning when you're all bearded up, and then you eat at Folks Folly or Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, you are never going to go back to a CK's coffee shop and order a steak again. Ole Miss fans are never going to be the same. They hadn't been this good in 60 years, okay? Since 1963, there have only been 6 SEC schools win the championship. Auburn, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, Tennessee, and LSU. And Tennessee, for all their pride and great program and sellouts and 105,000 in the Vol Navy, the last time they won the championship was 1998. Bill Clinton was in the White House.
Yep.
It's been a while.
It's been a long
It's been
time.
a while.
Let me ask you this. We got just a few more minutes left. I got to ask you on these 3 teams: A&M, Missouri, and South Carolina. Out of those 3 teams, who's going to be able to finally break? Because if South Carolina don't do it, they're going to be looking for a coach. It's probably all the wheels are probably going to fall off. But if Lenore Sellers, like you're talking about, could have a year like they expected him to have last year before he got the concussion at Missouri, what do you think about these 3 teams? Do you think either 3 of these, number one, is A&M going back, or was that just a flash in the pan? Is Missouri finally going to break through, and can Lenore Sellers be the guy who everybody thought he was going to be?
Mike Elko, number one of the smartest coaches in college football. He's got the best collection of big man shirts. You know those bowling shirts that you don't tuck in?
Yeah.
But he got a degree from Penn. They don't give those away out like Halloween candy, okay? You think about last year, they had the best offensive line coming into the SEC last year, and they were 11-0 until they weren't when Texas beat them down in Austin. Well, what they did to replace those 4 starters was a stroke of genius. They went and got 4 starting offensive linemen from different SEC schools, okay? Well, it typically takes 2 full years to build a cohesive offensive line unit. Well, the Marine Corps does it in 91 days at Parris Island. If you got less time, be more intense, be tough. You find out right when you get them who needs to stay and who needs to go. I look for A&M with Marcel Reed to be better, but if he doesn't get better in the pocket and running every time something doesn't look right and follow his reads, they're going to be a 7-5 or 8-4 team. They got the talent. They've got the money. They got a $21 billion endowment, although Texas will say, well, ours is 46.3. Thank God for the oil out of the Permian Basin, 4.2 million barrels a day. That money goes back to Texas Tech, Texas, and A&M every year. That's where that comes from. But A&M, it's all on that defense. Mike Elko, they've had more guys drafted since he got there in 2018 as a coordinator, defensive linemen go to the NFL than any school in the SEC. He talked about that at media days. Then you look at South Carolina. Lenore Sellers out of Florence, South Carolina, home of legendary Revolutionary War hero Francis Marion, the Swamp Fox. He couldn't handle last year the truth of being the starter. but it's an even year. And under Shane Beamer in 22, they went 8-4. In 23, they won 9 games and had that heartbreaking loss to LSU and Alabama. They got a chance, but it could unravel quickly. Shane Beamer will bounce back. South Carolina is a tough place to win. Spurrier has had the best success of any coach ever. Prior to him, they'd only won double digits in a season one time, and that was 1984 when Joe Morrison was the head football coach. And in their entire history, they've got one conference championship to their name. That was 1969. They were 7-4, co-champions of the ACC with Wake Forest. And then you look at Missouri. Here's the deal with Missouri. Pete Cordelli, and he talks about it so much. The last 4 years, they've had a really easy schedule in the SEC. They won 29 games the last 3 years. That's going to flip this year. They don't have a single signature victory against a quality SEC opponent in the last 3 years. Kalen DeBoer, in his first 2 years at Alabama, he's got 8 wins over AP teams. But you know what? At Alabama, it's like, so what, now what? I mean, that's just where it is. But I look at Missouri, they've got to step up. They put $250 million into Faurot Field. There's going to be another 20,000 people in that stadium up there. But you know what? They got to get as passionate about Missouri football as they do about St. Louis Cardinals baseball. And that ain't happened yet, but I think they're on the way. But Eli Drinkwitz, God, he's got the best comb over in the SEC. I just have to get that in. But I just think that I think we're going to have Cody Goodwin on Wednesday from Missouri, who covers them for us. I don't see it. Austin Simmons was Ole Miss's guy last year until he wasn't, and an afterthought from Ferris State becomes Ferris. Look at Trinidad Chamberlain. Yeah. But that's my take on those 3 schools. But man, this is fun. I got so fired up. I'm about to run through the tunnel at Bryant Denny or the Swamp or Jordan Hare right now. Can we get some smoke going?
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what? We've got it all here. I mean, Bone Crusher's got power. He's got it all. I mean, I feel like I'm a WWE wrestler every time I come in the building. So either way, we appreciate you, Rob, for being on. Thanks for coming on and giving your take. We definitely are going to hook up and talk about some more stuff during the year as the football season gets kicked off. But thank you so much for taking out your time, and we appreciate you as always, my friend.
And look, man, Sidelines, we're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, sidelines.live. I'll see you next week on my show. Y'all have a great weekend.
Yes, sir. Thank you. The great Rob Brown from SEC Sidelines. We appreciate you so much. When we come back, we're going to dive into a little bit more about all of this stuff that we've been talking about, but we got a little bit more that we got to get to you. You're listening to the Sports Blitz. Paul Wilson, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
North Carolina, Bill Belichick. Are you kidding me? Only 4-8, 2-6, no bowl game. Does he work his magic? Does he get to 7-6 wins and go to a bowl game?
No, I think college football is totally different. It takes a lot more energy to build these programs and to be connected, and I just don't see it from him.
The shocker, he goes 6-6 and he goes to a bowl game. Mark it down. It's his girlfriend.
Job.
You got to give a girlfriend. Got to give him a little credit.
Weekday morning 7 to 9, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, where the locals go for the best boiled seafood around. Crawfish, shrimp, red royals, and everything crabs. Watch almost every sporting event in the country on their huge outdoor jumbotron. Follow them on Facebook to stay up to date on weekly events, live music, and food and beer specials. Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, your home away from home for sports, good times, and great food. The best boiled seafood. Lone Star Boil House and Sports Bar, 320 West 5th Street, downtown Panama City.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Canes fans, the 2026 Miami Hurricanes football season will be here before you know it, and there's no better place to experience it than inside Hard Rock Stadium. Feel the energy of the crowd, the excitement of game day, and the moments you can't fully experience from your couch. Season tickets are the best way to make sure you don't miss a snap, a score, or a signature Canes moment all season long. Lock in your seats today at MiamiHurricanes.com/football. That's MiamiHurricanes.com/football.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida gets results. Here's Alan Watson from Gulf Plus in Panama City Beach.
When we first came to Panama City Beach to launch our business, we didn't really have a voice, and we didn't have any way of letting people know that we were here and we were new. ESPN Radio has given us a way to reach our audience, which is sports fans, because of being in the golf industry. And we've managed to grow the business while staying on the radio for 6 straight years. So it's been the kind of thing that's really helped us to grow. It's brought in the most business, and it's the thing that we're recognized for and people associate us with. I couldn't be happier with our association with ESPN Radio.
To see how 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida can help grow your business, go to ESPNPC.com and click the contact button. That's ESPNPC.com and click contact.
Night after night, the Atlanta Braves take the field with one thing on their minds: getting a W.
Olsen annihilates this thing. 2-run homer that was barreled to the chop house.
Tonight, Ozzie Albies and the Braves hit the road for a quick interleague stop in Baltimore, taking on the Orioles at Camden Yards.
Coverage coming up at 6, first pitch 6:15 on your home for the Atlanta Braves. ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Coach Stephen Pearl. Your home for Auburn basketball on the Panhandle is 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the most opinionated sports talk show on the Panhandle. This is the Sports Blitz on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are back live and local right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, your spot for the Atlanta Braves. Don't forget the Braves tonight take on the Baltimore Orioles. 6 o'clock is the coverage time. 6:15 is the first pitch. So about 10 minutes from now, the Braves will be taking them to the shed to whoop their butts this year.
Funny thing about the game tonight, if you happen to be at the game in Baltimore, it's Hawaiian shirt night.
Oh, wow.
Everyone gets a Hawaiian shirt.
Oh, wow. That'd be nice. That'd be kind of cool. I mean, yeah, I guess. But hopefully the Braves will take it on and kill them tonight in a good way, but beat them. If you want to be a part of this show, you can be. All you got to do is call the Tropical Spas and Pools phone line, 850-215-6290. You know, we've been talking about the SEC Media Days, and, that was a good segment with Rob and talking about the things. I think really when you look at it, you got to look at what these teams can do and what they have done and what they're building to be. And that's really why I believe everybody was so upset about Kalen DeBoer. I believe that's why everybody's so excited about Lane Kiffin and John Summerall alike. People do not really know outside of the program these new guys, these Alex Golish, Ryan Satterfield, or Silverfield, and then you got the guy that everybody knows, which is Lane Kiffin. But Lane Kiffin has always been Lane Kiffin, meaning he can win big games, but he also can lose games. He lost to Kentucky 2 years ago. He just, for whatever reason, he'll lose a game. But I was looking over, and Coach Saban has come out with his 4 teams, and really that's what's going to happen. It's going to be 4 teams right now that's going to make it to the college football playoff. And I don't know if you would be shocked. I wasn't really shocked, except for one team. Number 1, he's got Georgia, which you're happy about.
Sure.
Number 2, he's got Texas, which everybody's talking about. Number 3, he's got LSU. And then number 4, Texas A&M. Now, for me, obviously, I wouldn't call myself as smart as Coach Saban, but I figured A&M would be number 3. All of the things that they got coming back, the ability that they had last year making it to the playoffs, losing to Texas, usually you don't double dip. Normally you usually get them back the following year. So that being said, if A&M does what they're supposed to do and beats Texas, they're in. So I get it. I know he's got them there. But LSU, he believes in Lane Kiffin. Now, just so you know, 3 of those guys are 3 of his former coaches. That helps. He didn't have Alabama in there. Because I believe, as much as he really believes that Kalen DeBoer was the right man to take over the job, to steady the ship, because it could have been really bad if you would have brought a new guy in, one of these younger guys, one of these guys from a Power 4 or whatever. You had to bring somebody in that was going to be able to steady the ship, know what they're doing, and be able to put their system in and do it quick. So that's really what I feel like, is what Kalen DeBoer is. Will Kalen DeBoer be the long-term answer? My wife says no, by the way. I don't know. Alabama, as fired up and as, outspoken as Nick Saban was, Bear Bryant wasn't, right? He wore a fedora, and I'm talking to the older Alabama fans that was alive during the time where Bear Bryant, or at least understands what Bear Bryant was like when he coached at Alabama. Two totally different guys, but still had that grit, that passion, that it factor that a lot of people don't really believe that Kalen DeBoer has. And with Coach Saban keeping Alabama out of the top 4, even though Alabama made it last year, I'm just surprised. I'm surprised that LSU is in there, because if it would have been me, I thought Oklahoma deserved that spot because they got a returning quarterback. Look, you don't know what's going on at LSU. You don't know whether or not Sam Levitt's going to be even close to being what he was. Everybody's giving Sam Levitt a pass just because of how good he played against Texas. That was one game. Yes, they were good, but they were in a bad conference. Arizona State plays nobody. So to say Sam Levitt's just going to automatically be this awesome quarterback because he can throw in leotards when he's out there with his buddies, I don't buy it. I'm not buying it yet. So for me to say that LSU is going to immediately be in the playoffs and to be a top 4 team, because that's what you're saying. If you're in the top 4 of the SEC, you're going to make the playoffs. That's a done deal. But Oklahoma, Mateer, Brent Venables with his defense, as much as I hate talking about good about Oklahoma, I'm not an Oklahoma fan at all. Like, I hope they don't win. But Oklahoma, to me, is that third team that looks like they're going to be the one. Well, I want to throw something out there that I wanted to talk about before. We've got 2 minutes left. The largest scam has been busted, and it's a guy that's online, Cool Kicks. Feds say Cool Kicks helped move stolen Nike in massive alleged theft ring. This all happened in Memphis. Nike has a warehouse in Memphis that they send all of the Nikes to go get shipped to all of the stores, not just in Memphis, Tennessee, but all through the South, everywhere. So it's a big hub. It's in Memphis. It's all that. So this guy from Cool Kicks, who's all on the internet, who sells his Nike shoes for $3 and $4 and $12 and $15 and $2,000 to celebrities, he's all over the internet. This guy, under the table, paid the workers to make sure that specific Nike shoes got shipped to his warehouse that he owns. And so the drivers don't load the vehicles. The warehouse workers load the vehicles. So they would print off his address on the shipping label, and the shipping label would go on the Nike boxes. And all of these Nikes have been found. Over 2,000 pairs of Jordans, of Nikes, of these famous style of Nikes, and they busted them. It's taken them 2 years, and now they finally got them. So it's crazy what's going on.
He wasn't stealing them. He was rerouting.
He was rerouting them and selling them on his own behalf. So he got them, but now he's caught up. Either way, thank you for listening this week. It's been a great week. We will see you next week. Jeffrey will be back. We've got the Big Ten Media Days. Got to talk about that ugly school up north. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson at 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. Have a great weekend, everybody.
104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. This is Braves country.
This one's going supersonic.
Tonight, the Atlanta Braves are at the Baltimore Orioles to kick off a 3-game series at Oriole Park at Camden Yards. The Braves sit in first place atop the NL East as they try to get their groove back. We'll have first pitch coming up at 6:15 tonight on your home for the Atlanta Braves on the Gulf Coast.
ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Good evening. This is Joanna on ESPN Northwest Florida with your forecast on this Friday. Some clouds tonight with a light breeze around 6 miles per hour coming out of the west-northwest, and look for the low to be 81. Tomorrow morning, there will be mostly sunshine with the temperature reaching 89. Partly sunny in the afternoon and evening with a high of 91. Sunday will have a high of 89 and some sun. This weather is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for keeping that dial on ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
That boot store can help you dress in style, from casual Western wear for a night out with family and friends to a special meeting that requires a fashion touch with Western flair. From boots to hats, belts to shirts to jeans and a lot more for the smallest of the largest in name brand Western attire, including Carhartt work clothes. Shop that boot store for the whole family. Open Tuesday through Thursday 9 to 5, Friday and Saturday 9 to 5:30. Next to Billboard Kia, 15th Street, Panama City, where God is good all the time.
The legendary Pepper's Mexican Grill and Cantina, home for the most popular drink specials in town and now on the beach. Enjoy 2-for-1 house margaritas and draft beer all day, every day. 10% off on Military Mondays, and Tuesdays kids eat free with an adult. Pepper's Mexican Grill and Cantina, now with 2 locations. Back Beach next to Home Depot and Highway 77.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe, ESPN Northwest Florida.
Back to the gap at the wall. Out of here!
Club plays with an intensity that has the rest of the National League on notice.
And he lets it fly high and deep to right field. Chop house bound, 3-0 Braves.
Welcome to Braves Baseball, right here on the Braves Radio Network.
Ozzie hits one well to deep right field. At the wall now, Casey, and it's gone!
Atlanta Braves Baseball on the Braves Radio Network is brought to you by the original Louisiana hot sauce. Buy you some. Your local Ford dealers, proud partner of your Atlanta Braves. The Home Depot, how doers get more done. Hyundai, proud partner of your Atlanta Braves. Visit your local Hyundai dealer today. John Foy and Associates Personal Injury Law. Get the strong arm. Arrow Exterminators. Make the right call and protect your home or business from pests by calling 888-GO-ARROW. Peachtree Orthopedics. Same day, evenings and Saturdays. It's time to get better. SeatGeek, the official ticket marketplace of the Atlanta Braves. Yanmar Tractors and Engines, an official partner of the Atlanta Braves grounds crew. Your Atlanta area Lexus dealer. Experience amazing. TimberTech Decking and Railing. Everything wood should be. Visit TimberTech.com. Attorney Ken Nugent. One call, that's all. Xfinity. Score the most reliable internet at one price for 5 years guaranteed. Xfinity. Imagine that. Pennington Grass Seed. Official partner of the Atlanta Braves grounds crew. ServPro. When disaster strikes, call ServPro to make it like it never even happened. Saya LTL Freight. The official freight and logistics partner of the Atlanta Braves. Corona Extra. La Playa awaits. Georgia Power. The official electric energy partner of the Atlanta Braves. IBEW Local 613. Truist Park keeps the lights on with IBEW 613 electricians. The Battery Atlanta's own ASW Distillery, home of the award-winning Fiddler Bourbon. Tonight, Ozzie Albies and the Braves hit the road for a quick interleague stop in Baltimore, taking on the Orioles at Camden Yards. This is Atlanta Braves Baseball on the Braves Radio Network, lit by Louisiana Hot Sauce.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome into Atlanta Braves Baseball. Tonight from Oriole Park at Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland. It's game one in a series of 3 between the Braves and the Orioles. On the mound for the Braves tonight, right-hander Grant Holmes, and he'll be opposed by left-hander Trevor Rogers. Great to have you with us on a Friday night alongside Darren O'Day and our producer-engineer Jonathan Chadwick. Ben Ingram here with you. Braves coming off a really good homestand. Just took 3 of 4 in the most recent series. Altogether, 5 wins in 7 games in that homestand. And now taking on an Oriole team that's an interesting bunch there. And they're 3 games under 500, but they're still in the race over there in the American League.
Yeah, the American League is a pillow fight this season. A lot of really tough records. So even though the O's are under 500, they are firmly in the wild card hunt. And very motivated, likely to add here in the next couple weeks, and a very talented bunch. You know, this is a team that took the league by storm 2 years ago. Did have a down year last year, but still very talented. So it'll be a fun series to watch.
Well, they've won 8 of their last 10. A lot of the Orioles' success has come on the mound. Trevor Rogers goes for Baltimore tonight. Now we know about him. He's, of course, spent several seasons in Miami. And in his career versus the Braves, he's been terrible. But here in the last month and a half, he's been maybe the ace of staff of the Orioles.
Yeah, he was actually their most valuable player last season. He had a great season and really struggled early in this one and has righted the ship here recently. A really tough lefty, especially so on left-handed batters. So that's why this Braves lineup is about as right-handed as they will get. So it'll be a fun night to see how he challenges these Braves hitters.
Yeah, he is 1-7 in his career versus the Braves with an ERA approaching 5, but this season he hasn't lost since June 14th. His last 5 starts, he has a sub-1 ERA. So there's the challenge for Grant Holmes. He goes out there for the Braves, and Grant's been good here lately.
Yeah, I think when you look at Grant Holmes and when he struggles, it's the walks and the home runs. And his last 4 starts, he's been really limiting the walks and the home runs, and so he's found himself with some lower pitch counts as he gets to the 4th and the 5th inning, but unfortunately for him, that's when all the damage comes. And he's going to have to figure out how to get through that lineup a second time and pitch his way into the third go-around with the lineup and really do something special for this rotation.
Yeah, for Grant in his last 3 starts, 2-0 with a 2.40 ERA. Here's another thing. He's limited homers. He's allowed just 1 home run over his last 20 innings. Got to keep that going tonight against a lineup that can hit the long ball when they're hot. When we come back, I'll introduce you to the starting 9 for both teams. After that, we'll get to the first pitch. Braves and the Orioles coming up tonight on the Atlanta Braves Radio Network.
Oh, hey, Sarah. Did you hear my daughter Katie got Camper of the Week?
That's a big deal.
We got a big deal, too. Right, Mom?
Honey, shh.
What's that?
Okay, that Hyundai Santa Fe, I only paid.
Nice.
Deal's so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get 0% APR for 60 months, plus 0 payments for 90 days, or 1.9% APR for 72 months on the Hyundai Tucson, Santa Fe, or Santa Fe Hybrid during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Hurry, offer ends August 3rd. Call 562-314-4603 for details.